Hi everyone, welcome back to Cheese and Turtles. My name's Imogen and today I'm teaching you how to stop giving a fuck. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram and let's get started. I tried to film this video a while ago and I got halfway through and I realised that I wasn't quite ready to film it, but now I am 100% ready, so let's go. I think a lot of the time when we are worried about something and we really worry too much about it, we're coming from a place where we don't trust ourselves, okay? And I need to help you build your confidence and we are going to learn how to stop giving a fuck. And that is the start of this video. Let's actually start. Did I say subscribe? Subscribe. So the first thing, and I'm going to keep it absolutely real, I think that the quickest way, and albeit not the most comfortable, but the quickest way is to literally just go through enough shit that nothing phases you. Okay, now I have had this commented on by many of my friends in that I have been through some fairly unpleasant scenarios in my life and I've just developed this kind of like resilience to it and it makes me not blasé exactly, but I definitely have more chill than I did before, okay? So this is the fastest way to stop giving a fuck about things in general, is to just go through enough things that nothing like surprises you anymore or like nothing phases you. I am pretty decent in a crisis because of this, but like I don't recommend it because it left me with a lot of trauma and I had to go to therapy. But if you have been through that like inadvertently, it can be really useful. Now, I'm not saying like go out and give yourself trauma. I would never say that. And I don't wish like trauma on anyone, okay? Because that is not like productive and it's not healthy and it's not good for your mental health at all. But if you've been through something like that, like through no fault of your own or, you know, like inadvertently, then it can be useful. Okay, so I want you to approach it kind of from that perspective, like things that you've already been through that might have been difficult, you can kind of re-channel it into this like Zen state of mind, okay? That's a very quick way, but it's not one that I recommend trying to proactively seek. If it's already happened to you, it can be useful. Let's move on. The next thing that I want to talk about is that you need to learn the difference between things you need to pay attention to and stuff that has no impact whatsoever, okay? So something can feel urgent but not important. Learn the difference, all right? And I want to talk here about the Eisenhower matrix. Now, the Eisenhower matrix is something, and it's a concept in productivity, which you may or may not have heard of, and it divides all tasks into 4 categories. And these 4 categories operate on a scale of urgent to not urgent and important to not important, okay? So you have urgent and important, and these are tasks that should be absolutely prioritized. Then you have urgent but not important. These tasks can be automated or delegated. Then you can have important but not urgent. You should plan to do these tasks in the future, in general, like way before the deadline because they're really important. And then there's tasks that are not urgent and not important, and these ones can generally be forgotten about, okay? So understand what counts and what doesn't. Also, I really want you to notice what happens when you don't give a fuck. Usually nothing bad happens, okay? Sometimes a lot of the stuff we are worried about and a lot of the stuff we're like, oh, you know, I need to worry about this and I need to worry about that. What would happen if you just stopped like worrying about it? Like if you just ignored it, okay? Like if you just, I'm not advocating that you do this for important things, and that's why I talked about the Eisenhower matrix in the previous point, okay? So you need to categorize your tasks into that. But a lot of the stuff in the like not urgent, not important category, you can just ignore that, okay? And if you want, pick like one thing that you're worried about that falls into that category and just ignore it, okay? Use it as a test case and see what happens. 99% of the time, absolutely nothing is going to happen, certainly nothing bad, okay? And you just took something off your mental plate. The next thing I want to talk about is the Pareto principle. So this is the concept that 80% of the results are from 20% of the actions. Most stuff is just noise, okay? So you need to figure out what it is that is really contributing towards like moving the needle on your goals, like moving the dial. What is the thing that you are doing that is the most impactful for getting to where you need to be, okay? So remember, most of the results come from a small amount of the actions. So most of the actions you're taking are producing only a small number of results. So you can get rid of like a lot of like noise straight away. Most of the stuff you're doing is just noise, okay? And I absolutely like, I'm in this category as well. Like, I'm not saying this is just a you thing, but I'm trying to like really focus my energy this year on the things that just have an impact, okay? All right. And on that topic, quality over quantity, guys. There are a very few people whose opinions I really listen to, and everyone else I just tend to tune out, okay? And that might sound like a really, I don't know, really bitchy thing to say, but I've noticed over a few years that certain people in my life are right about pretty much everything, and their advice is so valuable to me, and when they tell me something, I listen. Like, I always listen really carefully because I know that they have insightful and relevant takes, and they know me really well, so they are very well placed to give me advice on my life, okay? But other people, generally, their opinions really don't matter, and again, it's that whole like 80-20 rule, okay? 20% of the people have 80% of the valid opinions in my life, okay? And everyone else kind of doesn't know me very well, or, you know, doesn't give me very good advice. And, you know, sometimes it could be useful, like maybe 20% of that stuff is useful, but in general, quality over quantity, okay? You need to listen to the people who you know, like, have good takes. And it takes experience to understand who those people are, but it's worth trying to understand. The next thing that I want you to understand in this general area of how to stop giving a fuck is that you need to make a decision and stick with it, okay? When we give too many fucks, what basically happens is that we just worry over every minute little detail, and we're like, oh, you know, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? Stop it, okay? Make a decision, stick with it, okay? Stop chasing perfection, start making progress, okay? If I had tried to make my first video perfect, you would not be watching this video today, because it is impossible to make a perfect first video on your YouTube channel. There will always be things you can improve, okay? So I just jumped in and I was like, you know what? We are starting, we are doing this, let's go. It's going to be shit, but I don't care because I'm going to learn, okay? So make a decision, stick with it, off you go. Make progress, it doesn't have to be perfect. And finally, practice, 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 okay? The most chill people I know have been chill for years. They have serious practice doing it. Now, sometimes I freak out. Do I? Yes, I do, okay? Like, there are things still that have the power to make me absolutely freak out, okay? Like, you know, panicking or like upset, okay? There are things that really get to me because I'm a human being, and that is what happens. But if you can practice, and I am trying to practice so much and being like way more chill, and I think sometimes achieving difficult things, getting outside of your comfort zone can be really helpful for this. Something else that really helped my confidence was like solo travel. Like, so many things went wrong on my Europe trip in 2024 that I actually made a whole video about it. So if you want to go and laugh at my misfortune, there is a whole video about disasters on my Europe trip, everything that went wrong. But yeah, solo travel really helped me understand that it usually works out, okay? So like that and anything else, like getting out of your comfort zone and realizing that generally nothing bad happens and you can figure it out, is fine. You can practice, like, it's so chill, okay? And it made me so much more relaxed. I guess the best analogy I can use is exercise, okay? So when you exercise, obviously it gets your heart rate up, like you're going for a run or whatever. But if you exercise regularly, then your resting heart rate will come down, because when you're sitting still, it takes less of your like cardiac capacity. I'm not a doctor, so ignore my ignorance of medical terms there, but it takes less of your like heart rate to be able to like keep your body functioning, okay? So essentially you're overall fitter, and this applies to your mental fitness as well, okay? So when you like stretch your comfort zone and you really stretch your capabilities, you will be way more chill in just everyday life, okay? Because this is nothing. Like, you have been through some seriously intense situations and you are absolutely fine, okay? So you can totally deal with everyday life. It's not going to stress you out. You're going to be like chill, all right? So that's how to stop giving a fuck. I hope it was helpful. If you are not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.